I almost forgot to go off mute. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, crypto degenerates, ducks and squirrels. And when I say almost, I mean I legitimately did forget to come off of mute. Welcome to the Degen Roundtable takeover of the FN Hangout. Right now, my good amigo Nate Mageddit and myself are going to be running the show in place of RG3, who is off sailing the high seas and fighting the Spaniards and the English and the French, chasing down stolen treasure and drinking lots of rum and doing other such scallywag things. So you guys are left with us in charge. Nate Broski, what's up, dude? How are you doing?
Oh, I'm having lots of fun. You know, it's lots of good times. You know, as soon as you think it's about to pump off, then it drops again. Woohoo! Let's go. Yep.
Hey,
you know, an interesting thing that I've noticed is that a lot of people they get a little bit nervous when it's like, hey, we're gonna pump, and then it drops, and they're just like, screw this, I'm out.
Time to buy, baby.
Yeah. See that right there? That's I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just weird. Maybe, you know, I'm kind of screwed up in the head over here because I was born in the bear market, right? So for me, it's like I'm so used to you know, the dips keep on dipping that I legitimately just continually are like, hey, look, buying opportunity, awesome.
Yeah.
And what's fascinating is that you kind of go off of the hope, or maybe it's like an expectation type hope where like I know that it's going to hit that super pump one day. But in the meantime, I'm just going to keep buying more. Yeah. And I'll just keep waiting till that happens. You know?
And like, I honestly, I think that's why we have staking, is like, so we don't have to worry about, you know, selling or anything. It's just like, oh, I'll just fucking, you know, lock the money up for Cuatro Cinco and call it a good day. It's like, I can't worry about it for 15 years anyways. I have my like little rolling stakes in my staking ladder and stuff. But, you know, like, if you're not selling today, like, why worry if the price is down? If you are buying today, if you've got that cash flow rolling in, if you've got a real life job, or if you're doing some cool shit on the side or whatever, you got some stacked dry powder, then hey, like, these dips are a fucking blessing. And like, we're all gonna one of these days, we're all gonna be very, very sad, and we're gonna be like, man, I wish I'd have bought more during those dippity dip days, and those are the days right now. So I as much as I hate to see it, I also love to see it, and it's a good time all around. I don't remember, does RG3 do chat shoutouts, or does he just kind of talk to the chats, or does he go on his little monologue?
He just kind of talks to the chats usually. However, you know, this is our time now. We've taken over the ship. So if you want to
this is our show.
Like we usually do it, go ahead, man. Otherwise,
okay,
we just need to talk to everybody here.
Okay, right. So because this is a Degen Roundtable takeover, we've not only got myself and Mr. Ascending Man, Mr. Nate Mageddit over here, but we've also got Mrs. Producer of the Degen Roundtable.
Yeah, I just wanted to pop in and say I don't want to do chat shoutouts like we do. That's a lot for me to try and keep up with.
Okay.
we can go ahead and highlight everything currently in here and then just kind of go from there. I don't want to have to try and follow them as we go, though, if that makes sense.
We've got Mr. Melvtonu, we've got Mr. Ascending Man, we've got myself, Mr. Fox Boulder, David Servac, lots of folks. So if you don't mind, we'll just go through them real quick, and then like I will talk to people, and Nate will talk to people, I suppose, as we go through the show and stuff. And Mr. Producer, go ahead and feel free to throw that linkity link for the StreamYard in the thing, and then just in the private chats, if anybody joins us while we are streaming and whatnot, then go ahead and let us know in there so we can see if the folks are interested. If you guys want to be a part of the FN Hangout, then go ahead and click this StreamYard link, and you can click it on either the Degen Roundtable side or the Discourse Syndicate side. And yeah, that'll bring you on into our stream. You can chit chat with us. You can hang out. This is the FN Hangout after all. It is meant for the fucking Hexicans. So there it is. There's the link right there. StreamYard.com / all that jib jab gibberish going on. So
yeah,
let's go ahead and do some
chat
into,
if I could, real quick.
Yes.
Is that, hey guys, why don't you join us and tell us why you're bullish on Hex, PulseChain, and the whole ecosystem? Because I really want to hear it. I want to hear every single angle that I possibly can. I know that I've got some severe bull tendencies when I'm looking at like charts and stuff, but I would really like to hear everybody else's thoughts on why it is that they're bullish and why they're looking forward to, well, this year.
Yep. Mine's pretty simple. I guess I'll go ahead and start off before I start reading some of these chats, let a couple more pile in and whatnot. But my reason for being bullish is I'm basically a zealot for something that I think is pretty cool. I don't have any actual understanding on how a whole lot of things work in the cryptosphere, but I do like the idea of delayed gratification and doing stuff that benefits me later by sacrificing now and stuff. So I'm just a general fan of, the disciplined nature and everything that comes along with that. So I'm bullish on it because I think that it's a cool product, and like long term, it'll be pretty nifty. So I'm pretty pleased. And I think that one day I might catch some product market fit. We'll see. We'll see. But that's my reason. We'll go ahead and do some shout outs right now, Mrs. Producer. If you wouldn't mind, go ahead and pulling up some of these. We'll go through them little onesie twosie here. Let's see, who do we got? We've got Mr. Hextech 16, first one up. He is the first. Yes, sir, with the sunglasses and the smiley face. Good to see it. Looks like he's piloting a helicopter right now, if I'm not mistaken. Good to see you, Hextech 16. Welcome to the chat. We've got Melv Tony, everyone's favorite price updater. Good evening, fellow Hexicans. Good evening to you too, sir, Mr. Melv Tony. Right after that, we've got Gina Meinhardt. G'day, Melv Tony. Good day to you, Miss Gina Meinhardt. That is excellent. I like your name there. That is fantastic. After that, we've got Nate and myself talking about things, and then Mr. Fox Mulder coming in with the fucking sandwich. Yes. So for those of you that did not catch the Degen Roundtable stream that just ended, we covered the book Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat by Samin Narsat. Oh shoot, I can't pronounce her Persian name, but her first name is Samin. And so we just got done doing a 2-hour-long food stream, and it was super cool and awesome. We talked about salt, fat, acid, and heat, and how you can maximize your cooking efficiency by using those 4 basic principles. So if y'all check it out or go read the book or listen to it on Audible, I can't recommend it enough. It is absolutely fantastic for building like a foundation of cooking experience. So good to see you, Mr. Fox Mulder, with the sandwich. Welcome to join. Then Melv Tony bringing up the price action. We've got Mr. Yes, there we go. With the pulse prices and the hex prices, Mr. Melv Tony, always super quick on the trigger with letting us know what's going on. We appreciate it, amigo. And I know that RG3 appreciates it too. Next up, we got Hexican Lost in Asia saying, Good to see you, bro.
Wait, didn't we just see you?
Yes, we did. Good morning to you, Mr. Hexican Lost in Asia. I hope you're having a fantastic morning over there in Asia and things are going great. After that, Mr. Fox Mulder, over 3 months with no ruling on the MTD. I don't know what MTD stands for, but I think that it's the XC hearing or something, because he's talking about the ruling. So yeah, over 3 months. Hey, get ready to wait longer. Like, nobody knows when the judge is going to come out with the ruling. Everyone's been saying like, oh, she always does it in 60 days or 90 days or whatever. It's like, bro, she can take however the fuck long she wants. Like, I'm not in charge of Judge Auntie Carol, right? Like, me and Nate were there at the trial. It seemed pretty good. We're whatever the hell we're waiting on. Maybe like there's a bazillion campfire stories we can all tell each other as to why it's taking so long, or why it's like like things are being stalled or whatever the hell. Like nobody fucking knows, right? We're all just a bunch of assholes talking on the internet and spreading our feelings and thoughts around. No one has any informational edge. The only person that probably does is Judge Auntie Carroll and the SEC guys and whoever the hell else is super up there in that. We will find out about it when we find out, but like as far as coming up with like pre-built expectations and things, I would just warn all you folks at home, like try and stay away from that, because expecting things that weren't agreed upon will often get you in like a in a world of hurt or something. But yeah, it has been a long time with no ruling. I definitely agree with the sentiment, Fox Mulder. Like it is kind of frustrating, but we'll hear from it when we hear from it. And in the meantime, we're hanging out, having fun, buying the dips, and losing all the lettuce hands to all these red candles. So it's gonna be a good time. We got Mr. David Servat coming in with all of the green stuff and all of the hearts. Look at that.
Green hearts.
The clovers, the leaves, the palm trees. Fucking love it. Good to see you, Mr. David Serviak or Soroviak. Then next up, Patrice Von Pelly. Shout out to all.
Hello,
Good to see you, Mr. or Miss Patrice. Welcome to the stream. And then we've got our little linkety link. If y'all want to join us, that'll be kick ass. We've got Falcon Crypto just over on the Degen Roundtable. Hey, Melv, Tony, and Degen Roundtable crew. Good to see you, Falcon Crypto. Welcome to the stream. Glad we can have you here.
I thought we just saw you too.
We did indeed. Mr. Falcon Crypto and, was having some fun over on the Degen Roundtable stream. That was a great stream, bro. I very much enjoyed everything that we did over there, between like Zenith's cooking and our banter and the back and forth with the audience. Like shit was fucking kick ass. So
it's definitely different for sure. It breathes fresh air into kind of what it is that we've been doing, Yeah. Because like a lot of times, I don't know if you guys really kind of see this, but oftentimes when you're watching a stream, it's like, okay, something about PulseChain or something about Hex or something about the broader crypto network in general. And it's like, you don't get a lot of the like just little interesting things like, hey, by the way, here's a way to be healthy via cooking, right? You don't get that too often. I do agree. It's like, well, yeah, you should, being in crypto, you probably should be a little crypto focused, but come on, man, you need a little breath of fresh air every now and again, right?
What do you think is the golden ratio? Do you think it's 90-10? Do you think it's 80-20? Do you think it's like 95-5?
I think it's definitely 90-10. However, we're doing a complete spurt. Like what was it? It was on Wednesday. We did the anime geek out session. Yes! That's all I'm calling it.
That was a good time.
Nerd out. Yeah, weeb out session. And then today, here on Friday, we did the food. What do you want to call this one? Just the food stream, the cooking stream. Yep. All right. Yep. And then next stream on Sunday, we're gonna have the 69-420 stream, which it'll be our 69th episode, guys. And so obviously we have to lean into that joke. It is the greatest thing on the planet.
Yep. Oh man, this is good. It's gonna be good. We're gonna move back into the we've got Mrs. Producer hopping back in. Do you have a thought, Mrs. Producer?
Technically, it's our 70th episode. We already did episode 69, the first one.
That's true. That's true. But
so this is like our in between. It's our 69 and almost a half. That's what we're going for.
69.420 or something like that. That's a good technicality, but we're gonna bend the rules, because something tells me that we're not. For some reason, degenerates just don't seem to listen to the rules on how things tend to go out. So we're gonna bend those rules into our favor, and we're gonna degen ourselves on over into 69.420, and that's gonna be our Sunday episode. So I'm stoked to see how that turns out. I hope that I can make it, but I am not counting on it. To carry on with these chat shoutouts, we've got Mr. Patrice, or no, excuse me, Mr. Stilo, who let me in here. That's a good question, Mr. Stilo. I suppose we're letting all the riffraff and all the degenerates into these chats these days.
Oh yeah,
excellent, and good to see you, broski. Let's see. Next up, Hexican Lost in Asia. We shouted you out, amigo. And then Melv Tony again. Man, you guys are just fucking tearing the chats apart. There's a lot of stuff going on, but yeah, it's been a great time chit chatting over on the Degen Roundtable and seeing you guys here. And Nate, if you have a topic of conversation, we can launch into it. The thing that I want to talk about a little bit real quick is Matty Allin's Hex badges on X, because that is a time sensitive thing. Do you have anything that you want to cover before we launch into that?
No. I do have something, but let's go into yours first.
Okay, cool beans. Mrs. Producer, I'm about to pull up a screenity share. I have to find, dang it, I have to find Matty Allen's post. Hang on a minute. But basically the gist of it is, so I'll talk about it a little bit while I am looking for it here. If you guys have a hex badge, if you were a participant, fucking mosquitoes. Mosquitoes in my conics. If you were a participant in the oh goodness, what was it? The Hex conference. If you were a participant in the Hex conference, and man, it has taken me forever to find all of these links here. If you're a participant in the Hex conference and you have a Hex badge, then there is a way for you to keep your Hex badge, and there's a way that if you decide not to take action, then your Hex badge will fade off into existence. Mrs. Producer, I'm about to share screen here. If I can click the buttons on time. There we go. My goodness. Matty all in on X. Okay, cool beans. I've got my share. Whoa, is that me? My goodness. There we go. All right. For some reason,
Hell
Instagram
yeah.
music, but that's on my headset. We don't have to do that. So here we go. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Bazinga. So for those of you that did not know, conference badges on X. So these fancy if you guys spoke during the Hex conference, then you were in the running to apply for these little hexagon badges. The thing, these cost money. Matty Allin has to pay Twitter for the organization in order to get them. So the way it works is the conference badges on XW reach, and the people voted to keep them. Now you can fund your badge or your favorite speaker's badge by donating via NFT collections. Any unsold NFTs will have badges removed in 0 to 15 days. So there is I'm going to go ahead and open up another tab here over on Mintra. But basically, the cost is similar to what the X charges us per 6 months. So read the full rules at hexbadge.com. Remember that NFT holders get nothing beyond knowing that they made a difference. Thank you for making this incredible community possible. So if I click on this, oh, does that bring that up? Can you guys see that that picture? Wow, that is really tiny. Why is that so strangely sized? Okay. All right.
Yeah, we can see it.
That is a strange aspect ratio, but fuck it. So the way that this works is you go to mintra.com, or excuse me, not mintra.com. I should have known better. app.mintra.ai. And then over here is the Hex conference, the Hex conference thingamajiggers. And you guys can find all of these little domain things. So what happens is these folks, if you want somebody to keep their badge, if you're one of their audience members, or if you're the person who owns the badge or whatever the heck, then once these NFTs get paid off, then that badge continues to stay. So basically there is a cost to keep this stuff on Twitter. So if they get paid for, then they get paid for. If they don't get paid for, then they go away. So that is basically the thing that Matty Allin is organizing. He's saying like, hey, if you want, if you want to keep your badge, then raise the money some way, somehow. It's up to you. But the thing has to get paid for, right? This costs money, and this is the service, and this is provided. You get the little X badge. You get a further reach with your posts. I want to say it's like 2x or 3x or something. I'm fairly certain that he talks about there's methodologies for bridging, and there's ways to we got Fast Abdul in here, and I saw Fast Abdul in the comments just a minute ago. But there is a tangible result that comes from having these hex badges as far as like post outreach and things goes. So if you guys have a content creator that you like and you want to help fund their X badge, then you can do that by, I don't know, sending their wallet some sort of cashola or something like that. And that is the announcement that I have to make regarding this. So make a fresh new, if you're a content creator and you want to keep it, then make a fresh new wallet, bridge some fucking $600 or whatever the hell in, and then buy the app on, or excuse me, buy the thing on Mintra, and then figure it out. So that is
so the way that it works then is you go over there, you buy it for $600, and that alone is just going to allow you to be able to keep the badge, or is it like on a payment system where it's like, hey, I'm going to want to charge this?
So they go for the thing is good for 6 months. So it's basically $100 a month subscription to having this little badge. And
yep, and it doubles your as Pulse
yes,
Jutsu, the greatest jutsu artist on PulseChain, Fast Abdul. He says the badges double your organic views on X. So
yep.
okay, yeah. So that I mean that's powerful, right? However, I haven't exactly looked fully into it because the way that I was seeing it is like, okay, you buy it, then you get it for like 6 months, and then it like goes away, and you have to like repay for it. So you got to basically pay like 1,200 a year for it. Is that the deal, or am I just missing something here?
I would presume that it's 1,200 a year. Based on, actually, here's what I could do. We can find out live. I will click on this link. Bam. And then I will click share this tab instead. So, oh, is it pulling up? I don't see it.
Better be.
Aha, there we go.
There we go.
All right. So, Matty Allen's Medium thing, X verified organization badges for Hex Conference speakers. So, who qualifies for a badge at this time? As a speaker of any of the 4 previous annual Hex conferences, you already qualify as a member of the organization's hexconference.com under our interpretations of Twitter's terms of service. So I'm going to go ahead and say that that is 5 now, since we just finished the 5th one. Take the creative liberty. I'm sure that Maddie will forgive me. Not as an employee, but as any associated individual. Since the world record attempt was part of the Hex conference, anyone who registered with your X handle and spoke on YouTube may qualify for the Hex conference affiliation badge as well. And that is to include this year's thing going around. If you spoke at the PulseChain conference, you qualify for a separate organization, pending org verification for separate affiliation badge. As far as I'm aware, those exist. I've seen people with PulseChain conference badges, so those exist. If you spoke at both, you can choose only one affiliation. Please choose wisely which badge you want. Switching affiliation between Hex Conference and PulseChain Conference might take a month to go into effect, and you would have to meet both qualifications. In the future, Hex Conference hopes to be able to include more people, but at the time you had to appear in or be officially scheduled for the annual conference to qualify for this affiliation. This is to make sure to not break any X terms and conditions for the integrity of defining an organization affiliation. HexConference.com is a business of the media company Matty Allen LLC and abides by X terms and YouTube terms and conditions. In the past, we have successfully allowed anyone to sign up to be a speaker. Benefits: we get the custom badge. As a full access verified organization, Hex Conference can add affiliate accounts with the organization badge. We get our posts more posts by your organization, and its affiliates will be seen by more people without the need for advertising, and the source is X. So you can find all of this stuff on X. We get to show off our network. All verified organizations full access tier accounts also receive a new tab on their profile list that lists all affiliated accounts. This appears next to the post tab and displays any affiliated accounts. Source. I'm gonna actually I did not know this. Where is I'm looking at my tabs right now. Affiliates, nope, communities, profile, more.
What are you looking for?
Man, the affiliate tab. So I have one of the Hex badges, and I used this feature before, but apparently there's a way to do that. That'd be pretty cool. Create your space, verified. Oh, never mind. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to this tab, and then I will zoom out a little bit. All right, so as you guys can see, I am on my Twitter page, so I will go ahead and show you my profile over here. So I am Will Stevenson of the Degen Roundtable. I have one of these fancy schmancy little Hex badges right here. What you do is you go to more and you click on verified organizations. And I'm guessing right now. Oh, dang it. Okay. Well, I don't actually know how to do this, but I'm guessing that this is the thing. So this might be where Maddie found it from or started the thing from, but I'm guessing this is it. I'm going to go back.
Okay. Well, so what does that mean for the people watching though? Like my question and what I've been struggling with is what would I rather want? Would I rather want a Hex badge or would I rather want a Pulse badge?
Oh yeah. I have no idea.
Well, I mean, what do you?
I don't know your preferences, but I want the Hex badge because it's the one that I have. So like,
okay.
I have the Hex badge, right? And I presume that the same thing will apply for the PulseChain badge in the future, but I could be wrong. I'm just kind of extrapolating based off of past performance not indicative of future stuff. But I'm guessing that the same stuff is going to happen at some point for the PulseChain conference. But I'm kind of extrapolating here. Matty Ollett, if you're watching this, if you could hop on to explain a little bit further, that would be fantastic. Not required, but like I'm just kind of shooting in the dark here. By the way, guys, none of this is financial or legal advice, right? I'm just a dingleberry on the internet talking about my feelings and literally reading across the screen for you. So that's my understanding of how this stuff is working. But I'm not entirely sure. I'm going to switch back to reading more about it. If you currently subscribe to X Premium, then okay, yeah, and it goes to the costs. So being an organization costs $1,200 a month or $12,000 per year. And he pays it. So each of the badges cost $600 per year, so $50 a month. Okay, so it looks like the price of them has gone up, but we will see how it goes. So right now, the thing that he's talking about. Oh, excuse me. Let me pull up. Oh man, I've hit so many back buttons and so many things here. Stand by for a moment before I switch my tab back. Trying to find Matty on
while you're finding that. Yeah, me personally, I think I would rather have the PulseChain badge. Pulse kind of has a special place in my heart for when I was really starting to learn a lot about crypto and how all this works. It's kind of funny because Fast Abdul agrees with me. He chooses the PulseChain badge. So yeah, I think
Sure.
if I could, I would rather have that. And I've been in PulseChain conference once, and now the Hex conference twice. So I hope that I can go to the PulseChain conference again. But I also know that we're going to be going to the PulseChain Tour conference, and I'll be speaking there as well, which is going to be a whole hell of a lot of fun down in Las Vegas. If you guys are not joining, come on, guys, take a vacation. It's going to be a hell of a lot of fun.
Excellent. Yeah, it's good. So just so you guys know, the PulseChain Tour is RG3 and Wild SJ and Kalen's thing, and then the PulseChain conference is Matty Allen's thing. So I don't know if there's cross pollination between the badges as far as that goes, but that's all my thoughts on the badges. Mrs. Producer, I'm going to go ahead and end my share screen, and we will go ahead and we have another person to introduce over here. We've got, I believe it is Mr. Crypto Compassion. So whenever you are ready to be added, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Mr. Crypto Compassion.
Bang, what's up, Broski? How you guys doing on a Friday night on the FN Hangout? You guys hijacked the boat. You guys
hijacked the boat. We totally took it over, man.
Already, matey. I know where the pirate's at. He's hanging about with a bunch of my buddies. They're doing their thing. But I would like to piggyback on the PulseChain tour. And I understand that these kind of things aren't for everyone. But I do believe that your network is your net worth. And if you're in the capacity where you do like to meet people and that's your thing, I highly encourage people to go out. I know that we're sponsoring some holes. I know that Caitlin Black Hexicans asked me to come down and speak also. It's a great thing, you guys. It's great to meet the guys. It's great to meet the women. I'm excited about it. I'll be talking more about it on our show that we have with Crypto Coffee on Tuesday. We'll be talking about the PulseChain Tour, the PulseChain Foundation, just the excitement that I know that many of you guys probably have. I'm sure you guys are excited about. You guys have hope. You are where you are because you have strong conviction in where your feet are and where your wallet is, or majority of your wallet is. And it's within this PulseChain ecosystem and all these beautiful builders and the community members that are in it.
Yeah, one thing that I really want to highlight about what you're talking about here, Crypto Compassion, is something that is misunderstood about a conference that's online versus a conference that's in person. Is we went out to New York City and we met up with a lot of people, and I'll tell you what, there's a definite like person-to-person connection that you can make with people once you literally meet someone face to face. Because I mean, you and I talking right now, this is a fantastic time. I'm so glad you're here and we're able to do this together. However, imagine if we were actually to go sit down at a restaurant and just talk face to face. There's something a little bit extra about that, and it's almost like a human element where we're literally right there in the same room together. And I think that's where the vital value of the PulseChain Tour 369 actually does come from, is that connection between people outside of the internet space. And I think that's absolutely vitally important.
So speaking of the internet space, we've got another gentleman that has joined us. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, crypto degenerates, ducks and squirrels, welcome to the stage, Mr. Eco Builder. For those of you that don't know,
everybody,
Mr. Eco Builder is the guy who started the mail campaign. You, alongside some others, you guys send out a ton of direct mail. Welcome, broski. Yeah. Welcome to the FN Hangout. It's good to see you, amigo.
Thanks. Good to see y'all. Glad I could come on.
Well.
What's up, brother? Good to see you, man.
What is new and exciting with you, Mr. Eco Builder? How are you doing? What's up?
Well, I wanted to come on to tell everybody that Hex Postcards is sending out some letters right now, and it's going to reach 15,000 houses. And the list is, instead of it being a zip code, it is a list that we've acquired of people who are crypto holders. So very excited to say that 15,000 houses are about to be reached. Thank you so much if you donated towards that. This is the send out of some letters where we had a competition recently, and it was Miss Hexicans Hexicans who won that. And I say letters, it's going to be either 3 or 4 different pieces of paper folded in the envelope, and then I think on the outside of the envelope it's going to be black with the Hex Pulse and PulseX logos on the outside with on top of black. So it'll be really neat. It'll be poppy.
That's awesome.
So I wanted to say that, and thanks so much for everybody who's ongoing support over on Patreon. Patreon.com/ Hex Postcards is where you can go. And then also we did a little facelift to our website. So you could check out the new website over at hexpostcards.com.
So you've got mailhex.xyz in your little thing as well. Is that similar or is that different than what you're shouting out now?
So that's kind of an extension of service. So I've been sending out cards and stickers to folks. So that web address as well as that Twitter handle is a way that you can reach me to request those sorts of things. And I could take your aunt's address. I could take your business address if it is that you want to keep some privacy. Just let me know. It's all free. That stuff to send out, it's all free. And I've been doing it for a long time. I've served close to 800 people. I think it was maybe it was more like 600. I've got an 8 in there somewhere in my head. So maybe my number is 585 people have gotten letters sent to them, or these packages. And the idea is that I've got a little bit of graphic design in my background.
Yes.
So that's one of the ways that I serve the postcards group. And flushing out some of these ideas for business cards or stickers and actually getting them printed is a big deal, and having them as tools to then send out to other folks. So you guys don't have to worry about, the printing or what's going to say on the card. Instead, y'all can go and be social and have the conversations, and then whip out from your back pocket something to pass that person so that they'll remember the conversation and follow up later.
Yes.
Yeah.
Organized memory. Go ahead, Nate.
Wow, that's interesting. I never heard that one before. So one of the things that, if you remember Richard Hart, when he was talking in his Christmas update video, he was talking about how he really likes the mailing system the best. Now, personally, being born in the digital realm and all that, it's kind of like, I don't quite understand what he means by that. However, I do think that what you're saying there about something physical that you can hold that is always going to be there for you. You don't have to go search for it on like a database of some kind. I could see where that would be, very important, especially if it's like really pretty, really, really attractive to the eye. So yeah, no, shout out to you, man. Like, quite frankly, Richard Hart, he's watching what you're doing and he really appreciates it, to be sure.
And then you got a reality show coming potentially, right?
Well, let me shout out Victor and Togosh and Philip Banks, who are all a part of the team over at Hex Postcards. They've been amazing. Just there is no dissent. I mean, we are just we're just going straight ahead, and it's all about teamwork. Yeah, so over to the reality TV show. Noob Decentral is the name that we're going with, and we just recently had a competition for theme song music, and so please everybody check out Noob Decentral on Twitter. That's the Twitter handle at Noob Decentral, and so we're asking everybody to vote right now, and just vote by commenting below the latest post from that account. So we've got A through G for you to vote for, meaning there's 7 entries on this song competition. So we've got 7 music things for you to evaluate. I think it's pretty fun. And so we're just marching on down that road. Shane has been working diligently in order to understand what it is that we need as far as like a live streaming backpack that has text to talk, to where, somebody could donate while it is that there's an intense conversation going on in the field, and they're able to interject with their text. It's read out to the person and maybe cause some commotion, because with reality TV, you're wanting something that's a little nugget to go viral, or you're hoping for it, right? But in this, not only do we want to entertain people and possibly have it to where PulseChain goes viral, but we also want to teach people about PulseChain. So some of the ideas that have been generated are like, okay, so people do transactions on PulseChain, and that's how we get PulseChain incorporated into this. And then also, we want to bring people to the awareness of SciVive, or at least some of the principles of SciVive, like lift people up, make them in a better spot than where they were when they first arrived on the show. So, so those 3 goals, if you will, SciViving, PulseChaining, and let's have some fun.
I like it.
SciViving. I love the way you put that. That's great.
Yeah. So, and we're still getting the stuff organized. I mentioned Shane. He's investigating that stuff, and then Joshua is investigating what it takes to be a director. He's investigating all of the filming that would need to take place and the editing afterwards. So the idea is that we go to a location, we shoot for 14 days. We have rules, people interact, and then after the 14 days, all that data is taken somewhere else, and somebody puts together an actual show, that we can release on YouTube or some other platform. Okay. But Noob Decentral is the name. So please, guys, go out there and check that out. I'm hoping that everybody on PulseChain is able to support this.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. It's good entertainment. That's one of the things that is absolutely vital for any community, right? Is entertainment. And I mean, we've got some games that are popping out there. We've got the whole live streams, that happen. We have, the Degen Roundtable cooking on live on stream. There's things like that. But like to have an entire TV show, that'd be a hell of a lot of fun. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, you still haven't cooked, by the way, Will.
I still haven't. Yeah,
You're supposed to have joined Z, and he still hasn't done it.
I was too busy hosting.
Yeah, speaking of cooking, though, like I'm gonna go grab dinner, and I did catch a little bit of. I like that you guys are bringing in a different perspective other than just like crypto. You know what I mean? Like, come on, let's hey, but EcoBuilder. I know that we talked about like some of the like the foodies, right? I think that people need to highlight different things that they do. And I've thought about it. We used to have a guy named Jim Rat, you know what I mean? And I've always wondered, like, what if Hexicans and PulseChain started like getting into like their health and wellness a little bit, like, because it has to be more than just crypto. It has to be about these lifestyle things that we're doing. And I appreciate you, EcoBuilder, sending me that video of the guy playing the hand pan, just vibing out, doing his thing. Yeah, and shout out to you for coming on the show. Shout out to Rob, obviously Richard Hart's brother, coming on the show. I just wanted to hop on here and give everyone their roses for just being steadfast and being such great community members.
Well, thanks for being here, Mr. Compassion. We'll go ahead and send you out, and you have yourself a wonderful rest of the evening.
I will. Take care, guys.
Appreciate it,
Cheers.
boss.
Laters.
Yeah, he mentioned a hand pan because he and I were geeking out after we did that live stream together. We were geeking out about all the back to the land type stuff, and that's where I had witnessed somebody doing a hand pan.
Yep.
Which everybody, this is like what looks like a walk turned upside down, and then little dimples in it, and then so people play by thumping it.
It's a really beautiful music. It reminds me a lot of the steel drums that you would see in like Jamaica or things like that, but it makes a totally different sound. I want to say it's from like Indonesia or Bali or something.
Yeah, I believe it's
beautiful
Indonesia,
instruments.
if I remember correctly. Yeah.
Yeah. Super great. That's super cool.
So whenever you talk about that instrument, the only thing I think about is the guy who's just like da, 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 da. And I'm pretty sure that wasn't it, but I don't know why it just pops into my head every single time.
Oh yeah, he's playing the bongo.
Drum.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's an old Finnish song called Levin's polka or something like that.
Yeah.
Levin's polka perhaps, but that's everyone knows that as like the anime like the leek girl playing with like the little onions, you know? That's where that tune comes from. But yeah, the instrument they're talking about, that's a fantastic, dude. I love the hand pans. They're very expensive too. Like I think several grand to get one made. They're ridiculously expensive, but super cool.
I think he and I got on the topic whenever we're like discussing harmonics and wave frequencies and helping out the body and maybe even talking about bells and how bells have been taken down in the last century, but yet if it is that we are to have, you know, a citadel in the future for our crypto people, we need to incorporate bells into the towers.
Yeah, I would agree. That would be very interesting, actually, because that'd be very harmonic. Interesting. Well, I got a question for you, Eco Builder.
What's up?
What are you super bullish on when it comes to the future here in PulseChain?
What am I here bullish about? I think that we've got a primed blockchain ready for expansion, like with tons of people. That's what I see.
I would have to agree with you, actually. So the show that I did on my Ascending Man channel just yesterday was with Project Pi. Now, they had just launched, right? And one of the big things that popped up about that is it makes it a lot easier and cheaper to validate. And then also when you validate, it also allows you to make this chain of money printers, right? Where you validate and then you get the PPY 404s, which are, you know, half coins or half tokens and then half NFTs. And so you can stake those NFTs, start receiving yield off of that. But then you can also pull out the ST Pulse, which is basically like a ghost pulse that, you know, you stake your pulse and then you can just ghost it, right? You got a free one there. And then you can go stake that anywhere you want. So that's really cool on itself. But the thing that was really important is that number one, the validators is the lifeblood of PulseChain, obviously. And because of you're able, it validates the chain more, makes it more decentralized, and therefore allows people to be able to more come in and start building on it. You're going to end up with a lot more builders who are going to come over from other places, other chains. They're going to be like, hey, PulseChain is one of these places we want to go build on because number one, it's cheap. Number two, there's a lot of validators on it. Number three, I mean, there's a lot of stuff about it, right? However, I was talking to him about that, and I agree with you 100%. I think the way that PulseChain is kind of positioning itself is Ethereum is going to be kind of like that corporate space where, you know, everything's super expensive and it's only the biggest of the big are going to go there. But it's like for all the other builders who want to build up something, where are they going to go? And there's only going to be a few options, right? And unfortunately, Solana really is not a place like that, even though it's like their cycle right now, because I mean, it's all meme jeet land, right? You can't build anything on that if you're actually trying to build something useful, because it's just people jeeting around freaking meme coins and JPEGs. So instead, they're going to be looking at a place like PulseChain that has a great place for building, cheap prices, and everything that people are actually going to be attracted to want to come to. And so because of that positioning and with things like Project Pi, as well as other projects that are out here, I do 100% agree with you that the way that PulseChain is positioning itself right now is absolutely going to be just explosive in growth.
Yeah, that was pretty in depth what you just said. I'm totally on board with that.
So Herc, no, it's not like Spooky Swap or Beethoven. So Spooky Swap is more like the Pulse X, right? Whereas Beethoven is more like the Pateus, right? No, you're looking at more something like the what was it? Lido DAO of Ethereum. It's more like that, right? However, it involves a couple of extra things because they added not only the 404's NFT staking, but they also added in an AI agent to it that all you have to do is tell this AI, hey, here's what my goals are. And the AI is like, oh, here's the direction you want to go. Do you want me to do it for you? And that way you don't got to risk pushing all the buttons yourself, which is super cool. Again, I went into depth and details about this on my channel over here. So just go check that out if you want to have a peek at it. I actually moved around a bunch of my own yields to be able to do that myself because it was just too good of an opportunity since they just launched now, so it's quite new. But yeah, no, I am so super bullish on PulseChain, and I'm excited to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've witnessed some of the negativity that's been around and the infighting and stuff like that, and I actually think it's pretty healthy.
Yes. I would
agree.
agree.
It's not that that I've got this sick fantasy of doom and gloom and blood all over the place. Instead it's like, a lot of people have to deal with some things that we haven't dealt with. And, whenever prices are good, then people ignore some things that are sitting there. So, I'm very, very, very optimistic as well. My bags, like my positions have stayed the same. I'm sitting here looking at it and wondering, okay, who thinks similar to me? Like who has been here, on this same trajectory, and what is it that I'm seeing with their socials? What are they saying? What optimism do they have? So lately, like I'm over at Hex Futures is a YouTube channel that I've done from the beginning of Hex Futures.
Yep.
And my last video was a little bit of rhetoric. It was a response to somebody and what they said to me on socials out in the open. And it was like a deeper analysis of what we're all going through right now. And I truly believe that Richard Hart has a plan and a long-term plan, and that a person like me in my position, I'm along for the ride. Like, I'm not a developer. I'm a person who's trying to figure out ways of connecting society to cryptocurrencies.
Yes.
That's where like my brain power has been going. Like, how does this affect people on their normal routes? Because I come from a world of architecture. So the built structures, how do they interact with people? What messages are graphics conveying to people? This is where my expertise is. So I just look at it as I've invested in something that a lot of other people have as well, and it's a new field of finance, and I have to trust certain portions and their words.
Absolutely.
And I like to tell people, like think of it as a 401k. We invested in the same thing, so we're kind of in the same company, like working towards the same goals. But but that's my perspective. That's where I feel comfortable. And in me feeling comfortable and being the empath that I am, I kind of like analyze my other co-parts that I think are investing in the same stuff as me. So in this latest video that I did, it was a deeper, in my opinion, a deeper analysis of okay, who are the working parts and what parts are they going to assume going forward. We don't ever want to make assumptions that somebody's there for a certain reason and it favors us. And that's all we need to think about it. Instead, we actually are getting further deeper into, okay, what are all the working parts whenever it is that we have, these tensions and a little bit of chaos and maybe a little bit of rocking the boat in places. To similar subject, but different blockchain, Trump releases a coin, and then I hear that it tanked all other coins that were in its vicinity because everybody puts their purchasing power and chases the green candle of Trump's. So all of these other Solana coins then hit the ground. Very interesting. So that was completely a separate issue. However, it relates in ways. Yeah. I hope somebody got something out of what I just babbled.
You know what? I got something out of it because
cool.
Let me put it in an interesting way, okay? I think you're gonna enjoy this one. So when you're talking about how, like, we're all in kind of the same company and we're all kind of doing our own part and everything. The way that I kind of viewed that is like, hey, we're all in the same boat together, okay? And Richard Hart may be the captain, alongside his first mate over here, RG3, who we've stolen his ship from. But with the captain can't sail the boat himself, right? Just because you're the captain doesn't mean that you need help to sail these boats. You need every single one of the crewmates doing their own thing to be able to sail this boat. And every single one of us is absolutely vital to be able to not sink the ship, right? And for someone like you have this vital piece, which is like graphic design, getting the words out there, creating shows and all that, right? You have this vital piece that is absolutely necessary and necessary for the growth of PulseChain, right? That's why I always call it like a city. We all have our like little areas. I can't do what you do. Hell no. Oh, man, I will struggle to do what you do.
Like there are some folks that are the blacksmiths, other people who are the guards, other people who are the cooks.
Absolutely. Zenith will cook today, that's for sure.
Yep.
And that's one of the reasons why whenever I can, I'll interject, like, we need to be kind to the women in our community and very, like, be accommodating, I guess, and recognize that there are different people with different opinions, different backgrounds, different sexes. And I love women. So like bring that hominess, bring the woman essence into our community and bond us and tie us together even more.
Yeah, agreed. So when you're talking about like opinions and all that, here's one of the greatest things that you can do, especially when you're in a type of arena such as DeFi, where we're at now. Now, if you wanted everyone to do just the same thing, you can go ahead and just go back out to TradFi because everybody has to do the same game out there because it's rigged, right? However, when you're out here, this is freedom. And in freedom, the number one thing you can do is have opinions and then recognize that other people have opinions, listen to their opinions, see if there's something that you can add to your own self to better yourself, aka ascend, right? It's always about becoming a better person tomorrow than you are currently today. And by doing that, you need to be able to take in information without just outright rejecting people and saying that they're dumb, right? It's not that they're dumb. Maybe people say stupid things as sometimes, right? Okay, well, we're all human. We all make mistakes. But there are some things that are said that maybe they have an outside view of something that you're doing, and you're like, oh, maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe there's something I could fix, ascend about myself. And I'm 100% agree with you, Eco Builder. That is something that I think all people should be kind of focusing on.
I have really gained patience in the last year or so, because people hiding behind a screen name where they can stay anonymous. They've got like 100 to 300 followers. They don't have any location for you to follow them back and follow them back into their cubby, and they can just shit post on you.
Yeah.
And then you think like, okay, like for a person like me, it sharpens me up, because I'm like, okay, well, I can respond in this certain way and really give it to them. But also that person just, shoved a bunch of weight on me that wasn't necessary. And I should just be able to, hopefully I can brush it off. But some people, they can't take that. Some people, it's maybe like their first experience to that sort of thing. Or maybe their personality type just can't take it and they need to leave. But to be a person who comes out on the screen in crypto too, it takes a little bit of conditioning, is what I'm trying to say.
I would like to cordially not disagree with you, but I would like to expand on your analysis here. And I think that if there's an anonymous person talking shit to a person who has his reputation on the line and is consistent and has built a brand up, then one of those two outweighs the other, right? So like if I'm here on YouTube, like I'm not smarter than basically anybody else in the cryptosphere. Like I'm just a fucking peanut brain diamond hand. But because I appear on a screen and I say the same thing consistently a whole bunch, like that develops a brand, it develops an identity of a person that exists inside other people's heads. So when some random asshole, comes up and talks some shit on some stuff that I'm saying, like if he is logically correct, or if he is like literally correct, then it's like, oh, I've learned something and I've been proven wrong, cool beans. But if he just comes up talking shit and it's like, and it's nothing of substance or whatever, then I think that the beneficial thing to do in that scenario, as just a person who has some sort of powerful brand or whatever, is you got to kind of brush off the people that don't matter, and and what determines matter, right? I'm not saying that people are valueless, but what I'm saying is that, like, if someone sacrifices some kind of value, right? So like me showing up on a camera, there is a sacrifice of anonymity. An anonymous person has more power than I do, in that nobody can come after them for the things that they say, but because I tie my words to like my literal visage, and people can find me, on Twitter, they can find me on Facebook, they can find me on Instagram, they can find me at, T.me Hex Meetup, right? Like, because I can be found in places, and because I have there's some sort of weight that is tied to my words, there's some sort of reputation or something. The world that we live in on the internet right now, so many people are spewing so much bullshit that basically everyone tunes almost everything out. So like, unless there's some sort of cost to offset the words, then it's like it's just another random person on the internet, yelling from their soapbox into the void, right next to everyone else that's yelling all their stuff into the void. And basically, I could be wrong here, but I think that most everyone tunes out most everything that everyone says. I know I was scrolling through Twitter earlier today, and I couldn't tell you what basically anybody said, except for the people that I know, because they consistently say things all the time. So like, we were talking about Matty Allen and the Hex badges. There was also, like, my buddy Zenith. He was talking about some other stuff the Degen Roundtable's up to. Like, I only remember the people who have some sort of reputation. I don't remember some, random jack off that's talking shit, or basically making a meaningless point. So it's almost like, I think that it almost falls into the same category as the risk diode that Richard talks about in SciVive and a few other things, where it's like, if you don't speak about the things, then they don't have any sort of life. They don't have any sort of they don't have to have any sort of joie de vivre or whatever, you know. So like if there is some random asshole on the internet, if I say his name, then I'm breathing more life into his existence. And if he's just out there like, you know, babbling nonsense or hitting on something without any sort of merit, like I'm always in the pursuit of knowledge, and I think that most Hexicans is we're always trying to learn more things, we're always trying to better, we're always trying to self-improve and find the best thing, which is how we found our way to Hex in the first place. So like I think if there's some random asshole out there that's got some good points, then we can take those good points, we can re-educate ourselves, we can update our worldview, and we can move forward with that. But up in like when it's just people spouting nonsense for the sake of drama and indignation, it's like we can put that off into the wayside, and we can reframe our minds to the point where it's like I don't have to worry about this thing that a random nobody is saying, because I've built up a brand that is more powerful than that, or I've built up an image or a reputation or something like that. Like if you're worried about, you know, like picture yourself like David and Goliath, right? If we take it a little bit biblical here, it's like if all the Davids don't have any stones and all the Goliaths are like full of armor because they built up, like Goliath being the person with the reputation, they've built up this great big thing, and it's powerful, and it's moving forward, and it's got some sort of like, you know, good good product or good service or good reputation attached to it, then that's way more powerful than some, you know, nameless nobody, right? So that's my thoughts on the whole thing. Do you guys have anything anything to bounce off that, or am I missing anything here?
I don't get enough attention.
Yeah, exactly.
So come
right
on,
there.
guys, hit. Well, no, I'm saying for me, come on, people, interact with me on Twitter. I don't get enough
Ooh,
attention, so I'm
are you valuable?
paying attention to people who are, you know,
Yeah,
putting
yeah.
little daggers towards me.
Oh, there you go.
And
Yeah.
I'm
And if they're putting daggers towards you, they're giving you free attention. They're giving you free energy.
Mhm.
It might not be useful, but it's like they're still saying your name. They're still interacting. They're still like doing the
You're
clicks, and
very
that adds up.
popular.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. The thing to think about for people giving you attention, it's like attention isn't free. It costs something. It costs time. It costs me like moving my mouse around and clicking on it instead of like going and watching the next cat video. So like if folks find themselves in a position where it's like, folks on the internet aren't giving me enough attention, well, then there's like there's the question to ask is like, okay, what am I doing to earn attention? Am I earning attention based on my standards, or am I earning attention based on what I think the people that I want to see me are looking for? So it kind of falls into the sales realm. It's like if I'm not earning enough attention, it could be because I don't have a good marketing thing. Like my ideas could be great, but I'm maybe not marketing perhaps, or maybe my ideas are trash and I'm marketing really well and nobody just nobody cares, or some combination of the two, or something like that. But like if if one is missing out on attention, like we're in the super hyper competitive world where it's like if you're not hitting all the dopamine receptors, like bam, 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 you know, all those little short 7-second videos that just like are super fucking like the brain rot. They're just like, what happens next? You know, we're competing with all of that stuff. So if you're the unfortunate truth is that like if we can't compete with the stuff that is grabbing other people's attention, then we're going to fall to the wayside, and we're going to move down to the bottom part of the Ponzi system that is like the attention economy on the internet these days. So like for the folks at home that are having tough time like grabbing the zeitgeist, it's like, okay, well, are you doing the thing that the zeitgeist wants? Are you doing the thing that you want? Are like perhaps look at the methodology and the salesmanship ship tactics and things. But you know, if you're getting haters, you must be doing something right. So that's always a good sign, right? That's
Yeah.
at least in my opinion.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people have said. If you got hate, then they saw it. You're reaching some people.
Yep.
Well, thanks so much for having me on. I
No
said
problem,
the
broski.
announcements that I really wanted to say, and thanks so much for the conversation afterwards. Thanks so much for the chat support. I see you, Siren. And then also, Fast Abdul said something about like, how about a shock and awe postcards?
Yeah.
Don't be a buy some Hex sort of thing. Yeah. Come on into the. Well, actually, make me a JPEG of the design that you have in mind. I would love to see it.
Put your money where your mouth is, Fast Abdul. That's what Mr. Eco Builder says.
Put your time where it is.
You got an idea? Sacrifice something for it. Send it to him. I will say, like, big kudos to Eco Builder. Like, if you guys put time into any of the projects that he is making, he will give you like all of the support necessary to like make your thing happen. You know, so like, go check out the stuff that he's doing on the mailhex.xyz. Go check out the Telegram. Is there anything that you want to plug before you hop off?
DeFiPuzzle.xyz.
Yes.
The DeFi Puzzle Twitter handle just recently gave you the location of word number 3.
Ooh.
So go and check out that.
Oh,
and
nice.
If you want to see the clues, it's hashtag DeFi Puzzle clue.
Okay. So now it's only 14 factorial instead of 15 factorial. Or no, 11 factorial instead of 12 factorial. So we've gone down from like 500 quadrillion now to like what 40 quadrillion. So
I don't know the exact thing, but also you don't necessarily know the word.
Exactly.
You just know that there was this certain word goes in this certain place.
Yep.
So there's a lot to think about, and so I haven't really figured out like nobody's come and said, okay, now like you just said, the factorial, like now you have this possibility chance. But there is a guy who is inside the Telegram. This is inside a portion of the Hex Guild Telegram.
Yeah.
There is a guy who has some really good ideas, and I'm just keeping my mouth shut. I can't comment whenever people ask me any questions specific about it. I just have to.
Of course, we're gonna ask you questions, man.
It's a million hex. Yeah, you gotta. Yeah. You can't be giving out the sauce.
If you were to say words right now, I would have to exit immediately. You know.
Yep. Exactly. That's.
But thanks so much, guys.
Yeah, dude, for sure.
Absolutely.
Thank you. And for the folks at home that can they find you on Twitter? Can they find you in Telegram? Where's the best place to get a hold of you?
Yeah, if you want to send me a direct message, right here on the Twitter handle.
Okay, at Eco Builder. Excellent. Spelled exactly like that. Builder without the E. Eco capital, Builder capital. Well, thanks for joining us, broski. We appreciate you hopping on here.
Thanks. All of my links are inside that bio of the profile. On Twitter. So you'll find everything.
Follow.
All
right.
This
man does good work. Okay. Thanks for joining us, broski. We'll catch you on the flip side.
All right.
Thank you very much, man.
Yes, sir. But with that, Mr. Nate McGettit, it's been about an hour and 10 minutes. I think that this has been a pretty fantastic little FN Hangout. What do you think?
Yeah. You know, one of the things that he was talking about is like the negativity and all that's going on.
Yes.
You do realize, and I'm pretty sure you're going to agree with me.
Yeah.
It's just the price.
It's just the price. Yes.
That's literally it. It fascinates me how price go down feels so bad. It feels so bad that people start wanting to lash out a little bit, you know? Now, personally,
your house is burning down. It's just a roof, bro. Come on
just
now.
A roof, bro. Come on. You can always get a new one.
But yeah,
right?
No, you're exactly right that framing is everything, man. Like if you choose to let it have power over you, then it will. You know, go read, like all of you guys in the audience, go read 48 Laws of Power. If you choose to let the price have power over you, then it will. If you choose to not let the price have power over you, then it won't. So like you're absolutely right in that, bro.
I do think that there is something to be said about us. Well, I mean, I know you weren't necessarily born in the bear market like I was.
Kind of. It was mostly bear market. I think I joined
you
Hex
bought
around
at the top of
1,000,
right?
Say again?
You bought at the top of 21, right?
Oh, yeah. So I joined Hex in the bear market, but I was buying Bitcoin at the fucking top. And like, you know, I was a Bitcoin maxi all the way from 25K up to 65K. And I was like, man, this is just fucking crazy cool, you know? But I didn't know anything else existed. I was just a Bitcoin maxi. I was like, oh yeah, that shitcoin stuff, you know, uneducated as hell. But like, yeah, I suppose I started right at the beginning of the bull run of the last one. But
yeah, so that means that you and I are a lot alike then, though, because I started by jumping in on all the I was going for like the whole train hype of like, oh, buy Dogecoin, buy this, buy that. You know, oh,
Sure.
they say this one's going to 10x, this one's going to 100x, and I buy in, and then it all drops, right? So you and I both bought in at the top. It dropped. So the only thing we truly know is red candles, to be frank.
Basically, yeah.
Because on the way down through the bear market, we were there. We bought and going down, and then we lost.
I like to say that I've always been a Hex maxi. I knew about the older and less useful version of Hex, which is Bitcoin, before I ever learned about the actual Hex stuff. So like, it was always there. It's just it was the wrong tool at the time, and you know, like, it moves slower and it appreciates less and it inflates, and well, I guess they all inflate, but anyways, like, I've always been the type of person that likes the thing that Hex is, and I just didn't know about Hex at the time. Man, I would have been sitting pretty nice if I if I'd have been buying Hex when I was buying Bitcoin at 25K before it ran up to 65. That would have been a good time. That was shortly after Hex was launched, so is when I learned about cryptocurrency and things. But anyways, all that is neither here nor there. The point is that, like, we're entering into a pretty cool time now, and I'm looking forward to it. And if it takes 1 year, awesome. If it takes 5 years, well, I guess I got to work another 5 years. Whoop-de-doo. I was hoping to not have to if I don't need to, but like, we roll with the punches and we move forward and we make the best. As my good friend Mr. Moondog would say, and I don't know if you've heard Moondog say this before, but shout out to Moondog if you're out there. If you're brought a big old pile of shit, then you find a way to plant it and turn it into fertilizer and make a tree grow out of it. So, it's just that's the mindset that I've tried to adopt of late. So I think that we're in for some good times. And if we're not, then, well, shit, I guess my detectors are flawed. But oh well, I guess we'll deal with it, right?
Maybe, perhaps. So I want to go ahead and give the audience who's here currently watching us a little bit of alpha. All right. Now, obviously, these are just campfire stories, as you would say, Will.
Hashtag not financial advice.
Yeah, exactly, right? However, these are campfire stories that I would say are the most likely to occur. And when I say most likely, the way that I think is in ways of trees of future, right? And I usually look at the most likely top four of them, right? One of them is like bad scenario. Another one's like super good scenario. So I try to look at the ones that are kind of like in the middle a little bit and say that's the most likely ones for now until more data comes in. And currently happening is what seems to be happening right now is in every single cycle, 3 out of 3 times, what's happened is you have this run up right around in March through April, and that's alt season wave 1, and that's usually like a 10x on your total portfolio, if not more, right? And a lot of people would be looking forward to that. Okay, this includes Hex, PulseChain, and all this. However, last cycle was kind of a scam cycle. FTX was dumping Bitcoin. China banned Bitcoin and all the other cryptos. And when you look at the percentage amounts of how Bitcoin went up every single cycle, we should have gone higher. But for whatever weird reason, and this is including the diminished returns, right? And so if you include the diminished returns, Bitcoin should have topped out all-time high right around like 94,000 last cycle. So why was it only 69? Here's the other thing to look at. If you're looking at the charts of Bitcoin, it usually spikes up. I got to do this on the opposite side. Spikes up like this, goes down, and then spikes up again, but not as high, and then goes back down. Why is it that last cycle it spiked up, went down, then spiked up higher? Because it would make sense that if Bitcoin was supposed to go to 94,000, 69,000 would have been that second spike up. That would have made more sense. So what is it that muted that damn top? It's almost like Bitcoin was on its third cycle curse. Even Bitcoin can't escape it. What's Ethereum currently on? Third cycle curse. It sucks, guys. I know. So with the third cycle curse of Ethereum, which all altcoins are beholden to, all right, what is it that a lot of people did last cycle? Now they have issues this cycle and are scared about this cycle. They bag hold. All right. They've been bag holding because they thought it was going to go higher, but it was a scam cycle. And so now they're still holding the bags. So now what they're thinking is, okay, well, wave 1, it's going to go up like 10x, usually what it should before, right around March, April this time around. So I'm going to sell early to make sure I front run all of that and get my bags secured this time. I think so. What I think is going to happen is wave 1 is going to be a muted top. And people may even say, because Ethereum's on a 3rd cycle curse, it's a muted top. All the influencers, all the big influencers are selling early, that the cycle's over. Altcoins were a bad choice to go into, and it's terrible. I think there's going to be a lot of negativity that goes onto that. However, I think this is where we get caught and we end up going into an altcoin super cycle. Because what's going to happen is we have all the institutions and governments buying stuff up. And along with Trump and literally repeating 2017 cycle, which was the largest altcoin cycle, by the way, what's going to happen at the end of Q3, beginning of Q4? Well, okay, so all of a sudden, there are so many regulations that are now in place where there's some clarity going on. And all of a sudden, it's like all these institutions want to buy ETH. ETH starts doing actually really good, maybe breaking slightly out of the 3rd cycle curse, where it's actually starting to do good. All the alts start sharply going up. All of these KOLs who dumped on everyone's head thinking, I need to sell earlier, are going to start just FOMOing the crap in, which causes everything to just bust up. What do you think Richard Hart's going to do with those SAC funds as soon as ETH starts doing that? He's going to start dumping them in too. And I can tell you, I can guarantee that our entire ecosystem is going to blast off right around that time. And so if they start blasting off, everybody's going to be looking at, what is this going on over here? This PulseChain thing? Wait, isn't that the Richard Hart stuff? Oh, yeah. Didn't he get excused from the SEC? Didn't he get excused from the Interpol thing? Oh, shit. There goes all that money. All the money that was dumping back into ETH now rotates over into PulseChain. And we are going to fucking fly. It's going to go absolutely insane. Now, we shall see if that happens or not. But yeah. I want everyone to think about this, okay? Because this is a time-based thing. Don't look at what price do you think it's going to hit. Don't look at that. That's a terrible thing to think about. Look at the timing. And then when looking at the timing, when you're like, oh no, is it ever going to take off? I don't know. This is 2025. People are getting rich. Some stuff is going up. People are selling and making millions. Stop that. Stop looking at that. Look at the full cycle, okay? Now, if what I just told you right here, right now, this alpha right here, if you were to consider that now and be like, wait a minute, it's not going up. I feel bad because of red candles and poor price. Oh, but wait a minute. I bet you it's not supposed to happen until later this year. Are you then willing to then work harder throughout the current year to get more of these coins, so that way then you get more of that pump? I want you guys to think about that. All right, think about if that is a realistic possibility with everything that I just told you. I want you to stop feeling bad about bad pricing. Start thinking about timing instead. And with that, maybe we can head out. Unless anybody wants to hop in.
Sounds good to me, man. I think a hop out would be appropriate at this time. I'm saying let's go ahead and wrap this up. Before we go, where can the folks find you, and what have you got going on in the near future, Mr. Nate McGettit?
Well, I'm putting out a series of videos. I got a whole bunch of them coming out. I'll be having one going out tomorrow that actually correlates with what Hex did in the past, with where PulseChain currently is and where PulseChain could be going based on what happened with Hex. That should be coming out tomorrow. Like I said yesterday, I had a talk with Van in Project Pi, and they basically talked it up so well. And I believe in that project so much because it is the lifeblood of PulseChain that I myself moved around a lot of positions to be able to get into it. And quite frankly, and then also Degen Roundtable. Do not forget about that. We just had our cooking stream. We had our anime stream this Wednesday too. We're going on a little fun tangent here of just doing some breath of fresh air stuff rather than just dumping into the crypto space constantly 24/7. You know, it would be nice to have something different every now and then, right? So with that being said, follow me, subscribe to my channel, the Ascending Man. You will definitely get alpha there, as well as the Degen Roundtable. everybody here on the Degen Roundtable is so stupidly smart. It's insane. So if you guys are not following us, I don't know what the heck is going on with you. Clearly don't want to make money this cycle. So
speak for yourself. You guys are all a bunch of smart people over there on the Degen Roundtable. I'm just a guy that hosts some shows sometimes.
You shut up, Will. You're smarter than you. He's trying to be peanut brain over here.
It is a good time over on the Degen Roundtable. I will say that we have a lot of fun. We do a lot of great stuff. You guys can check us out over there. Every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, we stream at 8 p.m. Eastern, youtube.com/@Degen Roundtable. I'm going to go ahead and get ready to read the final copywriting for the show. I'm going to read the Degen Roundtable copywriting, but change around a few of the words to make it fit for this here FN Hangout. Are you ready to rock and roll?
I'm ready to go.
All right, sweet. For the folks at home, you can find all of my stuff at will.pls.fyi. All of my socials are linked off of there. And if you're a Hexican and you want to meet other Hexicans, more important than my socials, go to t.me/hex_meetup. It's a Telegram group that I built that basically just has a shit ton of topics in it. And you guys can go and find other Hexicans over there. We got meetup rooms for like Canada, California, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, Florida, Alberta, Texas, Michigan, just to name a few. There's quite a few. Anybody can make a topic over in that channel. Anybody can create a location, and you can hang out and go meet other Hexicans there. My goal is to create a small, well, hopefully not small, but I hope it one day grows into something big, but it's worth as much value as people put into it. So as I travel around the States doing my iron working and building TV and radio towers and stuff like that, I just hit up the different rooms and see where people are at. So like when I'm up in New Hampshire, I hit up the New Hampshireans. When I'm down in Texas, I hang out with the cool ass Texans and stuff. You know, I'm in Dallas right now, but I'm about to fly down to El Salvador tomorrow and hang out with some Bitcoiners and things and see what's going on down there. So if you guys are down in El Salvador, I'm going to be in Berlin, El Zante, and San Salvador for the next 5 days. And I would love to hang out and chit chat and say hi. After that, I'm coming back up to Texas, then up to Washington, and finally going down to Las Vegas. I couldn't remember the name of the city there for a second. Las Vegas on March 6th through 9th for the PulseChain tour. It's going to be a great time. It's going to be an awesome time. And that's what I've got going on in the near future. You guys, again, can find me at will.pls.fyi. Nate, you've shouted out your shows and everything, and it's time to read some copywriting. So, Mrs. Producer, it's about time to end the show. So I want to thank all of you for spending your valuable time with us here on not only the Degen Roundtable, but also the FN Hangout. As Agent J of the Degen Roundtable often says, we know that time is your most valuable asset, and we appreciate you investing it right here with us. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Will Stevenson, but more importantly, you have been watching the FN Hangout. Mrs. Producer, go ahead and get that trigger finger ready, because it's time to remind all the folks at home to remember to Degen responsibly.